explain your property
I
and
haven't
what
seen
you've
it
done?
yet.
Richard, you have extra copies of the press?
Yeah, sure.
These are, landmarks.
we got here?
Oh, no, I thought maybe it was gonna be what's up there, but here. We have another one.
Yeah. Okay, As long as I get,
Baldwin.
keep on.
All right, you ready,
Okay.
Richard?
Sure, I'm ready. And why don't we just leave this, because these are just formal resolutions, and I'll just.
That's the
What,
problem when
uh,
you hand something to somebody in a meeting,
I know, the
they
first thing I
immediately.
want to do is look at it, and I almost didn't hand it out first, but then I have to hand it out later. But all I'm here for is 6 different property owners that come to the Landmarks Commission, actually over the last 2 years, asking to have their properties designated as official town landmarks. And as you know, that's a process that involves both the Landmarks Preservation Commission and the town board. And so what I'd like to do is first just take you through very quickly with Joe's assistance, the 6 buildings, and then we'll spend a minute or two talking about the process, and I'll be out of here.
And these are all properties where the owners are consenting to and saying that
Right,
we want these properties to be town landmarks.
These are all owner requests.
Yes.
Okay.
So, Joe, you want to just, next here? The first one is the Preston House, which Mr. Petroselli has beautifully restored. He's actually become our hero in Riverhead for also restoring the East Lawn house. So he's asked that this be designated as official town landmark. It's already, of course, in the downtown historic district, but he wants the prestige of it being a real town landmark. Next.
Looks so nice with that big thing behind it.
Yeah, well, I think hopefully when that's building finished, it'll look good too. Just so you can see how the quality of the restoration, this is what it looked like in 1906 when it was built. It was called modern at the time. Next. Similarly, Mr. Cristaldi has come to us and asked that the
It's a firehouse.
Second Street Firehouse be designated as an official town landmark. And I think,
Looks like a miniature compared to what the new firehouse
right,
is.
you can see what it looked like originally, designed by one of the town's leading architects. Of course, its connection to the fire
Yep.
department is significant in itself. And again, I think he's interested in the prestige of it being an official town landmark for the businesses he's trying to attract there. Next.
Now, let me ask you, when
Yeah,
you
yeah.
make a landmark,
Mhm.
are you doing the whole building or just a portion that is the landmark? Like the
Uh,
firehouse, the main building is a landmark,
Mhm.
but then they add on to the east side of the building.
Right.
Is that considered?
Generally, the property is designated.
Okay, The whole
Not a specific piece of it.
okay.
Richard, where is 97.7 Main Road?
Okay, it's, you can't really see it from the road very
I was
well. It's
gonna
kind
say,
of
not
across
recognized.
from the Vinland caterer.
Okay,
Yes, you said that.
But it's behind the house there.
okay.
And this barn, ironically, it was designed by one of Riverhead's leading architects, the Skidmore firm, which was George Skidmore's Riverhead's leading architect in the 19th century. And it was part of a large estate that was built by, Wilson was a Brooklyn merchant. He sold potatoes to the Caribbean, actually. And his house still stands on Peconic Bay Boulevard. Some of you know is the Bellis House.
Oh, yeah,
Um,
sure.
And this is the other end of the estate. He raised prize pigs in here. But again, Cliff Baldwin, who happens to be a member of the commission, has requested that this be designated as a town landmark.
The owner or,
Yeah,
the owner requested?
yes,
Yeah.
yes. Mhm. He is the owner. He's also a member of the commission.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Again, the owner of the Daniel Tuttle House, which is one of the most architecturally significant houses along Main Road, has requested that that property, and it includes not only next, the house, dates back to the 1840s, but also this wonderful English-style barn, and next, the only surviving underground potato storage on Main Road too. Next, the library has come to us and requested that the Perkins Carriage House, also what they think of as the Yellow Barn.
Did they move it there, or was it always
It's
there?
always been there, and it was built, the Perkins family, of course, Riverhead's probably most important family in the 19th century. John and Henry Perkins' father came here from England and had the biggest mill in Riverhead. He made fabric that was used by soldiers in the Civil War. this is Riverhead's leading family, and there was a big mansion there, in the same style, by the way, in the Second Empire style. It was donated to the library when the Perkins, Mrs. Perkins died. The library tore it down and built the library, but they kept the carriage house. So not only, back up this, not only is it pristinely restored, but has this great connection with Riverhead's history. The library is interested in designation because they think it may help them in grant applications, which landmark designation often does, because it shows that the owner is committed to historic preservation. What landmark designation does basically is it brings it under the jurisdiction of Chapter 241, so that changes have to be approved by the Landmarks Commission. Next. And the last building is the Riverhead Elks Lodge,
Oh my God, the clubhouse.
which started out as the Riverhead Country Club back in
Right.
1921. And it was the social center in Riverhead. All the important people in Riverhead came together and built this country club. Unfortunately, the country club didn't survive the Depression, but it was supposed to be one of the most beautiful golf courses in the country. What we have left is the Elks Lodge.
All the parcels on Sunrise and
Right,
Fairway.
right, well, you know all of those parcels around
Yeah.
it are part of it. So, at any rate, they
The golf
also,
course was behind it then.
the golf course is behind and in front.
And across the street.
Remember?
where the-
Millbrook
yeah,
Cable,
that's what I
so
thought.
Yeah,
Yeah,
where
that's
there are
right.
housing developments, so the golf course is gone. It became a VFW or, what?
Elks.
Elks Lodge.
Well, between,
Between, I don't know what.
it was,
It was always
I wanna say it was
Elks,
VFW, I'm not sure it's quite right. And then became an Elks Lodge. It
Okay.
still serves some of the same functions. So, this is what it looked like when it was built.
Oh, okay.
So it's pretty close now, the wall and some of the windows. And again, they're
Looks
interested.
better with the windows.
Well, I agree with that.
Go back to the other one.
Sure.
Yeah, it looks totally different with the roof lines and.
Now, the roof line's the same.
No, but
Yeah.
because of the windows are gone, the
Right.
roof lines look
Mhm.
totally
Well,
different. but
that's
it-
what
it
historic
was-
preservation is about, of course, is trying
Well, the
to,
peaks on both
keep-
sides.
you
just
wanna
don't
show
have
the
peaks.
next one again?
See the little peaks up there?
Yeah,
Just don't have that.
yeah, all that, all.
Go back to
they-
go back to the way it looks again today.
See?
It's changed, the roof, the slope has changed on the roof too,
I don't think
and the
so.
building is longer.
Yeah.
On the
I don't
north
think
end,
so.
the
It's
building
all
is
there.
longer.
It's all there.
It's
just
all
different
there.
angle. It's just a
It's all
different
Keep
there.
doing that quickly.
You guys are too much into this.
different angle, that's all.
So, anyway,
That's it.
Joe, I think that's all I need you for. I wanna go back to
Thanks,
work.
You did a great job, Joe,
That's-
please.
But these,
Much appreciated.
These are all the owner's requests.
These are all the owner's requests.
Okay.
Several of these are already in the downtown historic district, so it actually doesn't even change. They'd be under the same rules if they weren't. What chapter is now, they numbered it 241, I guess, if I'm remembering these new numbers, says is to designate a town landmark has to be approved by the Landmarks Commission. There has to be a public hearing. There is the option of holding the public hearing as a joint public hearing with the town board
That's what
and the
we've done in the
Landmarks
past.
Commission. We're recommending that we do that because several of these owners are obviously interested in the prestige of this. And so.
Can we do all on the same night?
Yeah, that's why I've been
Right.
saving these up, basically.
Good.
To do them all at once. The one thing that has to happen is a letter has to go out to the landowner by the town clerk. So hopefully our resolution
there.
serves a model for your resolution. So basically, all I need is, assuming you guys want to go along with this, we need to set a town board, joint hearing with the town board and the Landmarks Commission.
If you work with Jody, you can get a resolution to do that, and then the letter will go out from the clerk, it'll go out in the form of a resolution.
So
Very
we
good.
will, I will look to put that on for Tuesday, if that's okay with the board
Yeah,
members.
just pick a
Mhm.
date that,
Yeah.
this could be a long hearing, so pick a date that there's
Mhm.
not an evening that's not a lot of hearings on.
Sure.
I don't think
And
it'll be that long.
By the
but it
time we
might
send
be.
out the notice, I'm assuming one of your September meetings will probably work.
Yes.
Probably.
Good,
And
good.
you'd wanna do it in the evening, I would assume,
I think probably.
yeah, so maybe the second meeting in September.
Good.
All right,
So
Richard,
that's
sorry
all
to
I
keep you
need.
waiting.
Well,
Thank
you.
you.
Waiting.
We apologize
Thank you.
for
As always,
having to
Richard,
wait.
I love your presentations.
All right, Larry, Anne Marie, Shared Services, come on
I
up.
love the history.
So this is the, Larry, you coming up? So the state of New York passed this, it's a mandatory shared services statute, but it really has
That you can voluntarily
no
join.
teeth into it.
Correct.
I have to mandatorily be there and the supervisor, but then they said, or deputy supervisor, but then when I went to a couple of meetings and nobody was there, Larry's, and before that Tara used to do shared services, and Anne Marie does a lot of that. So they now have been going, but it is an interesting concept the governor has put together. I was very suspicious of it, but some of it seems to be coming together. So I guess you guys are
Who's
gonna
gonna-
let us know, brief us on where this is, where we are and why
So-
we're here.
This is the governor's short briefing. Take it away, Larry, you're the town's representative.
Okay, so, I guess what it is that the governor wants to kind of join services together, not only services, but also going out for goods and services. But, so there's two components to it. One of the components is to be able to have a large bid go out, and instead of each individual municipality bidding for, like, say, generator service. It would go out on one large bid with every municipality that's participating, putting their criteria in. So this way, it becomes one larger, instead of piggybacking, which is a little bit different because it doesn't guarantee you. You know, it says to the vendor, other municipalities can piggyback, but this actually shows that.
Guarantees the volume.
It guarantees the volume, so they might be able to give a little
In
bit of a
theory.
better value.
Right,
So
yeah.
that's the objective of that. As far as the services are concerned, there are many municipalities that have different services. One municipality has a anti-graffiti truck that goes around and cleans up graffiti, and it's very well equipped. Where we may not have that, we would be able to use those services from that municipality along, you know, it would come with their employees because they know how to use the truck. But if we had an issue where we needed, you know, maybe once a month, we could bring that in, and it would be at an agreed upon rate that would be, you know, to covering costs.
Right.
So the impact to the town going outside to get that would be greater than it would be if we were to do it sort of internally almost.
Yeah, you wouldn't have to buy a vehicle.
Yes.
You're using their vehicle with their employees, and you're paying their rate for their employees, and the
Plus
gas
a little
you
bit extra for wear and tear
Yeah,
on the equipment,
yeah,
which
probably, yeah.
we can get
Yeah.
into, because
Yeah.
same if we
Yeah.
lease or you lend our equipment out, you don't want premature
Yeah.
wear and tear on it without being reimbursed for
Would
it,
that be,
so.
yes.
Well, I guess you would have to have two cooperating entities, two municipalities that will
Well,
cooperate
that's
with
what
each
this
other.
does.
Well,
That's-
yeah, so just to
Or
backtrack,
14.
so part of the New York State 2018 budget puts into law this shared services initiative. What does it mean? It means that all 57 counties in the state of New York must develop a shared service plan. So it would be the county legislator of Suffolk County. He attempts to get towns and villages
County executives.
to sign on. Why would we sign on? Well, if we can create a tax savings to our taxpayers by doing a cooperative purchase, a shared service, we can then, if we can prove it and demonstrate we had a savings, dollar for dollar, we get back for the benefit of our taxpayers the following year. It's a one-shot only deal.
Yeah, but
One shot.
we
One shot.
also now have shared services
Correct.
with the
It
school
must be
district.
something new and different. Can't be something that we've already done.
Well, New York State DOT, their truck repair shop on Route 58, they were saying that they have a number of trucks that they would like our highway department to service their trucks. So I guess that's something that would be
Right.
considered as shared services?
No,
Okay.
No.
not under this initiative.
Okay.
It's the county, and under the county, whatever towns or villages fall within that.
So it's
Yeah,
just
state
among those
exclusion.
towns and villages within that county,
Yeah.
not, the state is outside the,
I'm sure our street lighting.
right, it's with us with Southampton, or the school, or
Right.
something that's
Could
in.
be
So,
Babylon.
so what's the penalty when you can't get two townships to agree to share something?
There you
What's,
go.
Well, no.
There is no penalty, it's a voluntary program, so, for instance,
but you said it's a law that says that we must,
No.
no,
Well,
the
that the county
county,
exec
the
has to.
county must.
okay.
Here's some great common Q&As, and if you look at the second one, it tells you it's the county exec, not the town. We do not have to sign on. Why would we sign on? Well,
Why not?
if we even save $1, we get a match for $1, which is a benefit to our taxpayers.
And what's that max out at, 150,000?
Is it 150 or two?
But it was,
Yeah.
it was two and change.
That's what I thought.
Yeah, that's
Okay.
what I thought. So the way that this would, sort of work, Jody, for your question, is there would be a web portal that you would be able to go to. So each municipality, if we were talking about, services, okay? So, a snowplow truck or whatever, or a graffiti truck, let's say, those would be listed. So Islip has a graffiti truck, it lists that plus the fee. We have a snow blowing truck, it comes with our personnel as well. We list that with the fee, the rental for it for the day or a week or whatever. And so every municipality has this. And when you need something, you need a dredge, you need some, and it's listed on there. You go on there, you say, okay, I need this for this date, if it's available, and they have personnel to run it, you get it.
Okay.
You get to use it. So, do you have to, do we have to put vehicles or services up there? If we didn't have any, there's some smaller municipalities that don't really have, small villages that don't have very much, that they'll benefit greatly on using, but they may not have anything to really offer. But what they would be able to participate would be in being able to use the massive bid process. Like I said, so that would be another web portal that you would be able to go into. And so Suffolk County would design the beginning part like an umbrella. They would do the top part of the umbrella, which has all the legalities and all the verbiage and everything. And underneath that umbrella, you would have these arms coming down, and so Riverhead would use this, and each department that would use a service in there, our purchasing department would put the bid specs in.
Yeah.
And then Islip the bid specs and this, and it would be broken up, and then once all the bids come in, Suffolk County would then do all of their, work that
Well,
they have to do.
I think that's
It's gonna
probably.
be a subcommittee.
Subcommittee,
Every
yes.
time you wanna go out for a joint bid, a small subcommittee is created, a representative from the town comes in, this is what we need. This is the, parts we need, you need those parts plus these.
Yeah.
We need a certain delivery date. We all come in, sit down, one bid is created, comes back, and truthfully, I think it's great because we'll win on economies of scale.
Well, I think that's the only thing we'll use is probably the bid. You mentioned snow blowers. During the snow season, we need we can't
Oh,
lend any out, so that wouldn't even go on the list.
Well, no, it depends.
Well,
If you
because
take a
of Sound
situation,
Avenue,
John,
huh?
like Brookhaven got buried a few years back in
Yeah.
snow, we didn't get that
Right.
much.
Right.
Right.
So our equipment may be down like the following day, but they're digging out 5-6 days later. So in a situation like that, you would be able to do shared services.
Yeah, yeah.
We are never required even if we list a piece of equipment that we'd be willing to share, we are never required, and we never would, forsake the health, safety, and welfare of our own town.
Right.
It's
Yeah.
anticipated.
It's if it's available.
Right.
Exactly.
Right. Who would be in charge of this? Who would do this? Like, run it for the town?
I
Oh,
think
Larry.
that's-
The supervisors, the supervisors have, it's interesting because the way the legislation is written, town board's excluded.
Yeah, it
And-
says the
No, you
county
sit on a panel for
will
all.
have a meeting with the supervisors and mayors
I
and,
sit on the panel, but I can, it's almost as if I can, which I don't think I legally can bind the town because of this legislation, but then when you get back to the town government or town law, I can't really bind the town. And when I asked the question, they said, well, if I sign this, I'm binding the town, yes. Well, what does that mean if the town board says, no, we haven't figured that out yet? And the county legislature's in the same boat.
Oh.
yeah.
See,
So,
That's
That's why we're here.
Yep. that's why
Well,
we're
Because I'm
here.
not gonna
No.
sign this letter without us.
Well, so this is a letter that the county has requested ASAP, so they can apply for a grant to pay for the technology and equipment to create the web portal. So I actually have the master one here on a nice letterhead.
Does she got it?
And-
No, we don't need it, okay.
the nice one.
Color.
So-
Color version.
They would love this letter today because the opportunity for the grant money is running out. I reworked the letter to reflect our maximum exposure for our grant contribution would be $5,000, which represents a sum if a minimum of 10 towns participate.
Oh, they're looking-
Don't forget, towns, villages, special districts, so we could potentially contribute less than that.
So if I get 3 signatures on that, I'm sending it today.
Great.
Now,
So,
let me ask you a question though.
Yeah. It is gonna cost us, though.
It's gonna cost us $5,000.
Right.
Potentially.
Potential.
Okay, who gets that money?
county,
The county is gonna use it for the creating this computer web portal.
Right.
Okay.
but the only thing that, I guess, in this that I have a question about is that it says, a local match not to exceed 5,000, said sum reflecting a minimum of 10 eligible entities' commitment to participate in the local government efficiency grant program. So, in your opinion, a minimum of 10 eligible entities. If
It-
10 eligible entities don't come in, that's not gonna raise our cost.
Yes, it
It's-
is.
it's-
No.
No.
It's gonna
No,
take us
our
out of it.
No, our commitment of $5,000 represents 10 other participants.
Right, yeah, you have to have
Right.
10.
Yeah.
Okay.
What if
If
you
you
have
don't
eight?
have 10,
What if you have,
Yeah.
original
it
letter.
would not be
Exactly.
wait, what if
5,000.
you have 8?
Then we don't pay anything.
And I
There's no
put right
obligation.
here, I use the language, a match not to
Wanna sign
exceed.
that?
Mhm.
In other words, Riverhead's only in.
Right.
If you don't get other towns, then don't include us, because we're
Right.
not we're not binding ourselves
Yeah.
to more
Right.
than
Because the
5,000.
Right, that's why I
Because
said
it
go
says
on, have it, yeah.
Only
that's
4
right.
towns go in, the
Correct.
amount is much
Yes,
higher.
we wanted to
It was
clarify.
Yeah.
considerably more if
Thank
you
you.
didn't get the
Right.
match.
If you don't
Yep.
get the match.
If you
if
didn't
And
get it. It
so,
was, but
You can
we're-
all look at this at your
we're
leisure,
limiting
but
that.
this is what some of our
Hey, if you put the
departments
taxpayers
actually
together,
were very interested in
Save
doing.
tax money.
One of the things that really, the chemicals for the water district and the sludge cake removal for the sewer district is, that could be huge
Tremendous.
because, you can't, we're paying a fortune for sludge cake removal. The county
Yum, yum.
has sludge cake removal also at their sewage treatment plants. They have many more sewage treatment plants, so we could save a tremendous amount of money. The water district issue is a little bit different because I don't know whether the water authority is going to be part of this in some way.
Well, they are, however, the way we worded it in this is, we will only permit drilling by DPW
Right.
and testing by Suffolk County Health Department, not Suffolk County Water Authority.
Right.
No, but the water authority uses the calcium chloride tablets that we need, and so
Oh.
we'd like to, but you can't, we have never been able to use their bids because of the authority law.
Well, you can with this. To purchase a piggyback with the cooperative to buy those items off of a bid, we would be able
With the
to do
water
that.
authority, I thought there was a problem using water authority bids,
They-
because they were an authority.
They were
A
at the
water
first meeting.
authority is considered a qualified entity to participate.
So this is new.
Brand new.
Previously, we couldn't use the water
Correct,
authority.
you are
right?
100% correct.
Yeah, they
So
were at the
that's
first.
huge.
Yes.
Yeah, they were at the first meeting that I was at, and they were discussing, they brought them in because they wanted them part of the discussion, to be part of the discussion so they can bring it back to their people.
They did Larry and Anne Marie did a nice presentation of this to the department head meeting when you were away. Gio was here at the time and Mike Zaleski too, so it was, we got a lot of good input from everybody.
Yes, and you gave us great input, seriously, that we took back to
Yes.
the roundtable. And we
Yeah.
we gave them a hard time a little bit, but it was good. It was good.
Yep.
All right.
I wanted
Okay.
some sewer tax money to pay before we.
Oh, that was the
did
first thing
Yeah.
they said. to them. That's the first thing I said to them when they,
Who's leaving?
if you look at their, did they give you the slide presentation? This slide presentation talks about sewer something.
Well, Councilman Hubbard wanted in, we get depreciation, we
Oh, this
get
one doesn't have it in there.
overtime, we get, put in a liability clause if they damage our equipment.
How'd that go over?
Well, they were like, well, we were thinking maybe we'd do it jointly. We're like, no, Riverhead's gonna have its own requirements, and they were like, okay, fine, so.
Good.
I just want to say, well, because this could be a question, is that the union, the CSEA union was involved in, they were at these meetings, they were involved with these meetings, so, because they understand how it could,
Sure.
with sharing of services and personnel, but I think the greater, the global look at this was more of, it's not going to take jobs away from individual, their employees will benefit. Their employees are the ones that are gonna benefit.
Yeah, they have to go with the equipment.
We can only
Yeah.
hope.
Correct.
And the majority of this shared services is probably gonna be done in a near or emergency type situation. So that, it's not like it's just gonna, oh, we need our street sweep tomorrow.
Right.
Let's call Riverhead and get them down there. That's not how it's gonna be. It really, it's gonna be more of an impacting situation that needs to be addressed.
Correct.
Okay.
All right.
And the private industry does it all the time.
Good job.
You see,
Right.
Like going up to Buffalo
Right.
out with snow removal, pile of line.
Okay.
Anything else? We'll get our resolutions
yes,
out as well.
Pass one of these down and,
If
take
I
two and
could,
pass
I
the
know
other
you
packet.
didn't have this on the
I got
agenda,
them all separated in pairs, so top pair and pass it down.
What's that?
but Bill would like to go over a, purchase,
Take two
and
pass
I'll try to get a
Yeah,
resolution
The
together
pair,
as
take a
quick as I
pair right
can.
here.
On that?
So we're looking to purchase software for our financial system. We're at the tail end of trying to iron everything out. I
Good.
think the software company that we're going with is
I
on
wanna
a
add a
state
name on it.
contract, and Karen and Ann, we have figured that out, that we can buy off of the state contract, so that'll save us time. I just need to tie up a couple of loose ends, but hope to have a resolution for Tuesday. The software itself will be able, that and one other module with BAS will be able to get us off of the mainframe, which we either have to purchase a new mainframe by March 31st, or get these modules, or get these programs off of the mainframe. So I will have the final numbers, and we'll have a resolution for a contract, hopefully in the next couple of days for Tuesday.
What do you think the total cost is, and what is the BAS module?
So the
I know you
BAS,
told, but I-
yeah, the BAS module is the tax receiver that we have to get on in order to get that off of the mainframe. And I'll have a cost for that also. Edmunds itself, the cost for Edmunds itself is gonna be about $95,000 upfront. And they cannot host it in the cloud at first, according to the contract. So it's
Yeah.
gonna be about $9,000 a year of maintenance, which is very inexpensive. If at some point we can host it in the cloud, that may double, but then it's being hosted, and there's disaster recovery for that. But for, initially, we're looking at $95,000 to get us going. We would actually start using it in January. and have everything off of the mainframe by the end of March. The tax program for BAS, we have to move that up a little faster because their tax collection season starts December 1st. And that's another issue, but since we already have a contract with BAS, it's just a matter of going forward with that module. And we'll have costs on that in the next week or so also.
What about the fleet management and scavenger waste?
Okay, so fleet management is part of the product.
good.
Scavenger waste is just a receiver module, which we think works on this too.
Terrific.
The fleet management, we're looking into two backups. They have a new product that does fleet management. We can't get anybody to tell us how well it works because it's new, so we go out to other customers and we can't get anyone to tell us. But we're looking into two other pieces of software that will do the same thing.
Terrific.
That works in two other governments that we reached out and say, when we went out to to Edmonds, they didn't have fleet management, so they bought a separate piece of software. So we're looking into that software, and hopefully the number that I gave you includes fleet management in Edmonds. Hopefully, if we can't go that way and we go with one of the other softwares, it's not much more than
Yeah,
replacing
there's
that
very
model.
few programs that are out there for fleet management, so.
And-
What's that?
There are very few programs out there that are
That's correct.
compatible for fleet
Right.
management.
And that's why, so that number may change if we're not happy with Edmunds Fleet Management and we have to go with one of those other softwares as a backup. But I'll let the board know if that's an additional cost, if we wind up having to go that way. But that would be more of
That's
a,
fantastic.
something to fall back on.
Bill originally wanted to include the cloud, but the state said no, we were prohibited from that portion.
So this is a plan that the IT department has put together in order to get off the mainframe, and I think our next deadline is the 2019, Bill, if I'm not
The
mistaken?
mainframe,
Yeah,
March 31st of 18.
Yeah, we have to do it now.
So we have to do it now, yeah.
So, what's interesting about this is the original plan cost us almost, $250,000, and now we did do ADP, but now we're down to $95,000. Does it do the water district?
The
doesn't, right?
water district has its own, software now.
But it's not,
They
that's
ha-
not on
they
there.
have a module, but I don't know how well the module works. It's something that we can always add on after that.
Right, okay.
If the water district decides, okay, let's get involved with this. The nice thing about having them all where it's one system is you can drill down as opposed to having files uploaded. But it does, I just can't speak to how well it does it.
good.
Well, I spoke to Mark on that issue, and so he asked me to try to piggyback for what he wants, which I will. But I thought about it, I said, well, potentially, if I wait a couple more months, whatever we save on that, we could potentially get credit for in the shared service. So I'm like,
How would we get credit? for
if I can prove a savings, and I think I can,
But
because I have a
Who are we
cost.
sharing it with? Do we have to share it with somebody?
Yeah, but I put it out there. It's in that sheet I gave you. He requested I put it on there.
Oh, share with another municipality?
Yeah.
Oh, even if they don't use it? Nice.
Right,
Right.
Good deal.
so
So,
he doesn't really want to wait.
obviously, this is not budgeted for, but, this is something we've been talking about for a long time. And, getting us off the mainframe next year will save us about $60,000, is that, I think that's what
Right, so
mainframe costs,
the difference in the two would be about $30,000 in order to get to this new software. And then about $9,000 a year for maintenance. We won't pay maintenance the first year, so if we go January 1 of 18, our first maintenance bill won't be due till January 1 of 19. So we have to add $9,000 in our recurring cost then. But again, it gets us off the mainframe, we don't have to purchase that. There's a lot of labor involved in that too, between backing it up and everything else, and,
How many months?
and even just exporting information from the mainframe or into the mainframe is,
Takes like
Okay.
more than 3 months
To-
to switch over.
Yeah, it's gonna be, again, I'm hoping to meet the January deadline for at least 4 of the modules that we need to on the financial software. And if we're not on vehicle maintenance until February, March, that's fine. We're just gonna upload a file anyway, but we have to be up by March 31st. So if our budget goes forward and our, and accounts payable and everything else goes forward, we'll be good for January 1.
So maybe some of that sand money,
So when that resolution's ready, would it be acceptable to the town board? I'll simply email it. And give Jill a copy as well.
Okay, I trust you're gonna find the $95,000.
I got two things, can I bring two fast things up?
Okay.
Okay.
Hesitantly, he says.
I was talking to the,
Libertarians, I'm
They-
sorry.
the ambulance corps. They're having a lot of problems with the diesel engines on these vans that we have. We're talking about, going forward buying trucks, with gas engines.
That's what we've been doing to replace them
Right,
with.
now, but the gas trucks cannot fit in the ambulance barn. They're too long. The problem is that they have to build an extension onto the side so the gas trucks can fit into the barn.
They didn't know this when they,
You got,
okay, let's put
Huh?
that, that's a work session item that you have
That's
to
it.
actually plan and bring the ambulance in to talk to us.
okay, but that's what I wanna say.
Okay, that's fine.
With the
Get it?
savings, I was talking to them for them to give us a cost estimate on everything. Is it okay for them to bring a cost estimate in on what the savings would be with the gas trucks between the diesels and the building extension they want?
I would tell Jill, talk to Jill, put up a work
We
session.
have a resolution in there for transfer funds for purchasing.
Well, this is on this is a different, this is on the side, because they have to make it longer than the barn that's there now.
Okay, so just, Jill will put it on, talk to the ambulance, to come in
They
and be
get
prepared
cost
to
estimate,
talk to us.
okay?
Have the town engineer come too.
Okay, now, and then this one here, on this, one we're gonna be bringing up, point a feature tent, I didn't know this was coming, I spoke to, Ray, and Ray, because you said we had to ratify it next, I said, Ray, get the kid working, and we'll ratify, can I add his name to this?
Eric Beer, there?
That's John O'Dowd,
Oh, you have another one.
yeah, I'm gonna
Other
just
than
add his name onto this one. I didn't know this one was gonna be typed,
That's fine.
okay?
I'm gonna have to share it.
So we'll add
So
his
he has
name
not
to
been
it.
hired yet?
Oh, yeah, no
No.
problem.
All right,
It'll be John O'Dowd,
As long as it's
I
not
have
a-
his stuff,
As long as it's not a ratification, okay.
no, it's not a ratification, no.
okay.
We
And then-
did a ratification last time, and we were
Well, you
gonna add
couldn't
his name, we couldn't add his name. So, Ray said, I'll put him to work and we'll ratify it the next meeting, but I didn't know this. I don't think does Ray know this was gonna be there? Cause he didn't mention to me when I was talking to him.
Kelly
That's
sent
what I
that.
know.
Huh?
Kelly
He
sent
does
that.
them, so if he doesn't know
Kelly.
about them,
Kelly?
something's
Oh,
wrong, because he's somewhere.
Okay,
Yeah,
All right, and the other resolution is,
Okay.
Accepts the retirement of Ollie
Yeah,
Crump.
that's shocking.
yeah.
I didn't know he was
From
retired.
the police
I heard it in
department.
the wind, but you hear a lot of stuff in the wind, so that's a shame. It's been
Okay.
around a long time. All right, so we did that, so
Okay.
let's, look at resolutions. I've got resolution 1, ambulance district, vehicle reserve adjustment. Budget item. Is this for the ambulance that we just did?
There was the remount.
The
like
remount?
this- I guess
Yeah,
I
that's
told
when
you guys
we
last year, and
refit.
they asked for 2 of them.
Right.
They bought one, this is the second one.
Okay, yeah, we did agree to that.
We did agree, yeah.
2, general fund justice court budget adjustment,
That's for their interpreter.
interpreter fees, New York State reporter, interpreter, right, I got it. You okay?
Yes.
3, engineering fees for the installation of emergency generators at plant 1 and 16,
Bond is
Okay.
that.
budget adoption.
Yeah.
This is bond proceeds, that we will eventually sell. $529,000. We good?
I like the contingencies.
How much money we could save this town if we didn't have to provide water?
Be a pretty dry town.
It would be.
4, engineering fees for the installation of water mains and appurtenances, budget adoption. This is for the Pulaski Street, these are all the new mains that are gonna help us transfer water better. Developer fees, bond proceeds. And here we go, spending that money. 5, Pulaski Street land condemnation budget adoption. This is the authors, so we
This-
can
yeah, this
authorize,
helps, yeah.
pay the Sophie Wilson
Yeah.
case
This just rubs me.
from the Highway Department funds. We discussed this a couple weeks ago.
Just bought a place in Florida.
Bet you know her?
Yeah, I know the daughter.
Oh, okay. Yeah, 'cause she's
I go with
deceased.
the son.
Seven,
You did know it,
six, construction of a concrete ground
Yeah,
storage
he's just
tank and
deceased.
booster station at
Oh.
Plant 15, budget adoption. Did we award the contract? I don't remember the award of the contract.
I think maybe out of one, maybe this is.
Yeah, okay. Bond proceeds, $3.28 million in the construction, engineering. We good?
Yep.
Seven, authorizes release of foundation. See how quickly we just spent, like $5 million? Not quite. Yeah, close.
Not like we didn't know it was coming.
Nope. Seven, authorizes the release of foundation security for Peconic Bay Medical Center, Northwell Health. I'll keep them back. $2,760.
What's this for? What, foundation is this?
I think
Cause
that's
if you can bond a foundation before you can get your full building permit. So if they're waiting for health department, at least they can get started with the groundwork for the foundation. Then when they get their full building permit, we give them back their bond money for the foundation. Cause they're paying for the permit in its entirety, including the foundation, so.
Got it?
Okay,
Hey.
so the foundation isn't built, or is this the one for, the one down by Walmart?
This is
Is this the building at Walmart?
This is for the
the new
expansion,
extension.
the cardiac care.
Okay, but the foundation is it in yet?
No.
No,
So we're gonna release their bond?
We give them the foundation permit ahead of time so they can get started immediately.
Yeah, but,
And then they follow on with a building permit. When they
Yeah.
get their building permit, we release the foundation.
Right.
Because the building permit encompasses the
but this
foundation.
says we're releasing this now,
We are, because they have a building permit, and the building permit includes the
and
foundation.
they give us a bond for that.
That was done through the building permit.
Okay,
So you can,
Our law basically doesn't allow them to do anything on the site unless they have a building permit.
yep,
So they come in for the foundation permit first, and then they can do their site work and do their preparations. And then once they get a full building permit, then we give them back everything that
then
they
why,
gave us for the
then why do
foundation.
we call it a foundation permit if they don't have to put their foundation in?
Because it's just.
They can
for-
put their
They
foundation.
can,
but they can.
Well, that's not what you just said.
No, they can put their foundation in under the foundation permit.
Okay.
But it enables them to start right away, while
Right.
they're waiting for the
Well,
building
right,
permits,
I
which
agree
are
with-
much
I
more
agree with
complicated.
that. Okay.
So once they get their building
What building
permit,
permit, they can do anything
they
they
can
want
do
to.
anything they want,
Okay.
including the foundation.
Okay, including, okay.
Right.
That's the way it should have been explained.
8, that's why I'm supervisor.
That's right.
It's gonna keep coming, John. 8, authorizes
Let us go
submission
that way
of
this
letter
year.
of intent and execution of a contract by the supervisor for the operation, I'm just looking for Jill to give me a dirty look. Operation and maintenance and grant program to New York State Environmental Facilities Corporation, EFC.
Yeah, this is for the pump out vote.
I need 70 maximum grant,
We'll
pump out vote.
get some money back.
aren't you glad it's going that way?
Yeah.
All right.
Yes.
9, authorization to publish advertisement for collection and recycling of electronic waste.
E-waste.
Did we get our bids back yet for the garbage districts, Bill?
They're coming in the end of the week.
At the end of the week? Okay.
Yeah,
I should
the
ask Diane.
29th, I
Okay,
think it's
I don't care.
29th is Sunday, tomorrow.
tomorrow, yeah.
Mhm.
28.
okay, electronic waste, we're good with electronic waste?
Yeah, can't wait. It's shocking.
Jim, you are witty.
Yes, I am. Awful lot of paper.
Quite a list of,
Quite a specification. Glad I didn't have to write it.
Number 10.
I'm almost there.
You do control that for the US 10?
I know, awards 10, awards bid for disposal of generator construction
C&D.
and demolition material.
Crown. Yeah, always.
Who do we award it to?
It is
Crown?
Crown.
Yep,
Yeah, you
okay.
can't beat that price.
All right, we good?
Yep.
It was 11, authorization to
One bid.
publish an advertisement
What was that?
for charter coach transportation for the town of Riverhead. What's this, for the rec programs?
Yeah, where are they going?
They go everywhere.
They're going somewhere in September.
We good?
Yep.
It says here,
Town should just buy a bus up there.
12,
It's up here.
authorization to
Town
publish
Sandwich Drive.
advertisement for 90 heavy-duty rear flail mowers for the town of Riverhead. You know, it's interesting, the school district, do they have charter buses, Tim, like coach buses? Because
No,
behind the
no.
new barn, I saw these,
Who does?
the
School
Riverhead School
district.
District, they look like charter
No,
buses.
nope.
Yeah, 'cause
Mercy
that-
High
No,
School
they
does.
don't.
That would be good,
Yeah,
we could,
yeah.
but we could share with the school district if they
Yeah,
have.
no, they
Does
don't
it have to
charters.
be, cause Mercy High
Sometimes-
School has one.
No, it's gotta be
Sometimes
municipal.
Montauk goes there and
Parks there.
yeah,
Yeah,
they
that's
do
what I
shared
figured.
services to fix their
What?
buses.
On the mower resolution, I have, there's one or two little corrections that will be done
Charter
before,
bus.
Joe,
before it goes in on Tuesday.
Okay, did you hear, Larry, on
I
the
didn't.
mower for the highway department, there's a change to it?
So it's not a 90-inch heavy-duty rear flail?
No, it is, there's just other, I just.
the commissioners asked me last night, is Wading River in here,
Yeah,
the street?
yeah, and they want you to come next Thursday.
Oh, Mr. Latterly, yeah, that's wonderful. Great guy in Wading River, gonna name the street, in honor of him.
There you go.
Oh, yes.
13, authorizes designation of secondary name, oh, there you go, authorizing designation of secondary name to 20th Street in honor of Suffolk County EMS Chief of Wading River Fire District Commissioner Thomas Latterly. So,
Is-
are we doing that Thursday?
His
So-
mother asked, his mother asked,
His mother's gonna come here on Tuesday?
And then they're asking the town board to maybe, if we can, I have to talk to Gio, if we can possibly coordinate something rather quickly by next Thursday.
That would be wonderful. Great, great. Happy to do it for them.
You could do it, Jill, I know you
I look
can.
forward to walking down Thomas Latterly Drive on my walks in the morning. 14, authorizes town clerk to publish and post notice of public hearing to consider a proposed local law for an amendment of chapter 289, vehicles and traffic parking regulations of Riverhead Town Code, parking prohibited Meeting House, Creek Road, and Peconic Bay Boulevard. But we did this.
We
This is a
did, but
change.
this
Has
is
to be
for,
Changed it from 300 feet to 75 feet.
Why we were blocking
Why?
people's houses?
because as we originally discussed, we were only going to, restrict the parking to the north up until the fence line where Lighthouse Marina is, so there's still plenty of room for them to park along the fence line. And
Well, no, what the problem with the marina, it says do not park on the mulch. That means they're gonna have to park in the street.
that's further north.
That's further south.
That's less, that's,
south.
yeah, that's in the 300 feet, not in the 75.
Did this go through the traffic safety committee?
No.
It-
Jody, can you let this go through the traffic safety committee so they can look at it?
Well, Chief was here and Gio was here and the applicants were here and it
I don't know what committee this went through, it didn't go through our
came
committee.
to the planning because they were saying that it was only supposed to be 75 feet.
It wasn't
And they
for
were gonna
300. That's what it was.
Let it
Okay.
go through traffic, let's pull it to go through traffic safety so that everybody can get on the same page and let Jody know what it is so that you can all be on the
Well,
same page.
I think the problem, all right, you let it go through that.
Yeah,
but
'cause I thought
think
we
the
had-
75 feet alleviates them from parking in front of the gravel parking lot,
Yes.
where the cones are.
Yes.
And pushes them back further to where the fencing and
Yep.
the marina,
Yes.
which is
And
fine,
there's
'cause
gonna be
that's
a
where I
stop
parked
sign
the other day when
put
I
there
was there.
eventually.
So why don't we just put it up and
That-
John, you can talk to the chief about it and you can go and talk to, Larry's Lighthouse?
And it was very restaurant depot.
It's up to you, John.
No,
Without
wait a minute, he's wrong. This says
Not
from an
wrong.
intersection with Peconic Bay Boulevard, that's where the cones are.
Mm-hmm.
On the west side.
75
On the
feet
west
north.
side for 75 feet.
Mm-hmm, that brings you to the fence line.
That brings you to the fence line.
Correct, that's what I said. Am I wrong?
Okay,
That's what I
now, the boatyard
Mm-hmm.
put mulch down right next to the road. Then they have big signs that say, stay off the mulch.
Mhm.
That means it's gonna put the cars on the highway,
Mm.
which is dangerous.
It's,
They can't pull off the highway at all. They have to park directly on the westbound,
Go take
on the
a look at
northbound
it.
lane. What?
go take a look at it and we
I've
can.
been, I was out there
Let's
the
put it
other
on
day.
traffic safety committee and let them look at it, Jody, that's where it's
This
appropriate
is
to
an
come from.
urgent need that Phil's Place came in and said, we need more parking and we want them to be able to park along our fence. So they came in and said, the summers, you know, the people are
Who
having
said
it-
that?
The owner of Phil's Place and the owner of Larry's Lighthouse Marina. He said that you put no parking signs on our fence, on private property, And,
Well, we didn't do that.
We didn't do it, the highway department did that.
okay, but they're saying that they want people to be able to park along the fence, and Chief said it wouldn't be a site obstruction. It was something that was discussed in planning board work session.
But have you been out there, they'll be parking on the traveled portion of the roadway because they can't pull off because of the mulch.
Maybe you can go look at it and then report
So
back.
you have to, yes,
Good.
Next.
Let's leave it in.
Right.
And if that's the case, John, then we'll pull it.
no, take it out, and if it's not the case, we'll put it in.
Okay.
Can we just put it, Jody, just let it go to traffic safety, because that's where these usually originate from.
It did originate
It
from
didn't
there. and it was
originate
done
from him, because this is the
incorrectly.
guy that sits in traffic safety, and he says.
300 foot originated from them, yes.
300 foot originated in
It
there.
wasn't changed, I don't know who changed it to 75.
Chief,
Who?
chief,
Well, he's
based
not,
on the planning board work session outcome on Tuesday morning.
Why the planning board work session? I don't understand.
okay, it's just,
438.
Jody, it's appropriate to go to traffic safety, that's where these things originate from. I mean, I don't have a personal opinion one way or the other.
Well,
over it,
I'm
but-
just, we are a
When
safety.
is the next traffic safety?
What?
When is the next
It
traffic
was this
safety?
morning, so
It was
not
this
till next
morning.
month.
Oh, that's
Well, I didn't know
the
this was
problem
coming
down
up.
there.
Nobody knows, there's no communication here. Nobody knew this was coming up.
Okay, well, chief did, so I'm surprised he didn't discuss it, and so did Gio. Was chief and
but
Gio
they're
at
not-
traffic safety this morning?
Yes, they were.
Okay.
This did not come up.
What does the board wanna do with it?
Let me go down and look again. I thought in my own mind's eye, because I was down there last week, or earlier this week, that once you got beyond the yellow and orange cones, that there was, I thought it was paved parking all along
It
the
is.
front of
It
that
is.
Butler building. I didn't realize it was what do you call it,
The
mulch?
mulch.
So I gotta go find out where this mulch is from.
Yeah, yeah. You have to look with mulch, they'll be parked on they're on the travel portion of the highway.
Yeah, it's not very wide right there.
It's not wide.
Plenty of width to
Right
park on
across
the
where,
asphalt.
where your relatives have the farm stand,
My relative.
the Hubbards. They were
Okay,
selling the
so
wood
pull
there.
it, and if you're
Huh?
okay with it, we'll put it back in.
Okay, right across the
Whatever you
mulch
want.
is,
Okay, so you're
and-
gonna let
Okay,
me
so
know
that's
when
further
I'm
north, you're talking
that's,
about.
that's within the
We're talking
300
about
foot.
from the corner of the fence.
Yeah, well, no, we're talking about
back.
within the 300 foot,
Okay, go look at it and then let me know.
okay? That's what we're talking about,
So we're pulling it until you look
Yeah,
at it?
right.
Pull it till John looks at it.
okay?
Okay, sounds like a plan.
Then you can go, and Mr. Wooten,
438.
I was down there.
whoever wants to go out there and take pictures, I'll take pictures.
I park on a boat
Take
yard.
pictures, that, I like,
Talk to chief and Gio about it.
I like pictures, take pictures.
Well, Gio is not the overall person. He put the signs on the fence where he wasn't supposed to. I mean, huh?
All right, let's move.
Okay.
Resolution
Who put signs
15.
on private fences? I don't know.
15, adopts a local law to amend chapter 289 entitled Vehicles, Traffic, Parking Regulations in the Riverhead Town Code, section 289-3, stop and yield intersections, railroad crossings, parking fields, intersection of Peconic Bay Boulevard and Meeting House Creek Road. Was this something discussed in the Traffic Safety Committee? A stop sign here?
Bob?
Oh, this is,
Come on,
oh,
Bob.
this,
Hearing last year in October.
and we never adopted it.
What's this?
Thank you.
This is the stop sign in the same location.
The only comments came from.
Oh, yeah, at the
someone
intersection.
questioning speed limits,
At
but
the
no-
intersection, yeah,
No
we-
objection to the
yeah.
stop sign.
Okay.
Thank you,
Bob.
Adopt
Bob,
the stop sign.
finding that.
Yes.
16, adopts a local law amending chapter 217 entitled Building Construction and Improvements and Housing Standards of the Riverhead Town Code, Building Permit Fees. This is the
Septic upgrade.
septic upgrade, waiving the fees.
Correct.
17, amends Resolution 475 of 2017, approves the Chapter 255 application of Native Events Country Blues Festival of Long Island.
They were originally having it for 2 weekends, now they're just having it for this upcoming weekend.
It's at the 4-H camp.
Okay. 18, approves the application for fireworks of the Banning Hollow Club. Do we let the neighbors know about this?
I'm trying to see if it's one of the conditions. Yeah, it's the last bullet.
Okay.
Yeah.
That way they can come out and watch, and not be scared that it's World War III. 19, approves Chapter 255 application of Elite Feats, 5K road race, Long Island Fall Classic.
Where is that? That's on,
Long Island, here.
yeah, so again, it's at 12 o'clock on a Sunday afternoon, when there's 12 o'clock mass at St. Isidore. I don't know why they keep doing that, from 12 o'clock in the afternoon until 6 o'clock at night. Because then, I mean, they'll just have to pay for the security to stop
Which
people
one?
that are
Sorry.
going into the church parking lot to.
20, resolution 20? Is that what you mean?
Yeah, we usually have something in there.
Number 19, Joe.
They're gonna have to have security to make sure that the people that are going to this event are not parking in the St. Isidore Church parking lot. And also in Polish Hall parking lot unless Polish Hall wants them there.
So what were the hours or what were the
From
prohibitions?
12 PM to 6 PM,
And you're suggesting,
that it be 1 PM to 6 PM.
Yeah, there's 1 o'clock mass there, isn't there?
12, that's the last.
So you, I think there was a,
I think we did parking prohibited or
Right.
something at the,
Right.
The last
Polish
one.
Hall.
Yeah,
there was something, last time we adopted this, there was some
I'll pull up last year.
some
I apologize, I'm
prohibition.
setting up a conference call with the telecom.
Oh, sorry.
I'm sorry, I'm with you.
All right, so let's find out
In spirit.
what it looked like last time. Oh, we're up to 19 or 20?
20.
20.
that was 19, Jill, sorry.
Yeah.
20, approves Chapter
Good night.
255 application of George M. Bartnick, 19th Annual
Antique car show.
Antique Car Show, Sunday, September 17th. Good.
Yeah.
21, approves Chapter 255 application of the Jamesport Fire Department 5K, 10K race Sunday, August 27th,
They always have that.
2017. We good?
Yep.
22, approves the application of fireworks permit of the Newton Carnival's Family Festival.
That's Peconic,
Peconic
Bay-
Bay, that's in
Bay
Wading River.
Hospital. For Peconic Bay Hospital.
Right.
Next is the, 22. Are you reading?
I haven't gotten there.
23.
23,
23.
approves the application of fireworks permit of the Riverhead Raceway.
Riverhead Raceway.
I see the school buses lining up outside, getting ready for the school bus demolition derby.
Very good. 24, authorizes the reduction of performance security of Mancy Homes East LLC in connection with the residential subdivision known as Old Orchard at Bating Hollow. We good?
Yep.
25, authorizes settlement with Thomas P. Wharton and Seamus Wharton regarding claim for damage in a fire hydrant on Peconic Bay Boulevard. These are expensive things. I think Bob is going to do some resolution that allows us to do this administratively, so we don't have to do a resolution, because I have a feeling we've been doing that.
Okay.
Don't run over fire hydrants, $3,000 to $5,000.
Expensive.
26, offers support to the Regional Bike Share Initiative to the County of Suffolk.
Where are they gonna put these?
Someplace not here. We have the
None?
bike thing and nobody uses it.
That's not true.
Who uses the one here? Joey?
Joey's the only one that I know that might use it.
Every morning there's a bike chained up out front of town hall to the,
Yeah, 'cause
To the
that guy
tree.
refuses to use the bike rack that we have.
27, authorizes town clerk to publish and post a public notice to consider a local law to amend chapter 301 entitled zoning and land development of the town of Riverhead. Oh, this is really neat. So this is really The bid and Jill were working on this storefront facade
I guess
Yes.
something
standards.
next Thursday.
What's that?
We're gonna really do something next Thursday.
Yeah, so this is pretty neat.
It's a condensed version,
Yeah, very condensed,
Very
one
good.
paragraph.
like it.
Right.
28, approves Chapter 255 application of Railroad Museum of Long Island Museum Open House, August 26th and 27th.
What are all the trains they have up there? Is that all part of the museum?
Yep.
Yeah, some of them are, some of them from Oyster Bay too.
Oh, I don't have
Oyster Bay
them.
would be a
Well, they're
good place for them to go
cleaning
back
up Oyster
to.
Bay, and then the next thing they're supposed to, we had a meeting with the operations, senior vice president of the railroad. And he's coming out here, he likes Riverhead, he's gonna clean up the railroad, they're taking, he has the Oyster Bay trains here, cause they're doing Oyster Bay now. After they do Oyster Bay, he's coming out here, they're gonna remove the dilapidated train that they own. He's gonna look at those trailers he has. He says eventually they'll be gone. Also, he's making, the museums paint the trains that are there so they look halfway decent, that the museum's owned.
Good, because they're definitely an eyesore.
A reserved comment on.
He's a very nice guy,
That's good.
so he's working with us
Nice guys come in last.
on a lot of things, huh?
You're not a nice guy.
I'm a nice guy.
He is a nice guy, he's working with us, he wants to improve,
29.
he wants
Approves
to,
the
he wants to
change order.
improve Railroad Avenue.
Yeah.
John's still going, you missed that one. 29,
29.
approves change order number 1, installation of alarm contacts for Riverhead Water District Plant 15.
Contacts,
Exactly.
you mean contracts, probably.
No, contacts, contacts? No, 2 alarm contacts at the main
Contacts,
plant, yeah.
Oh, contacts, like contacts, wow.
We determined to get that water district to be a 20th century state-of-the-art facility.
What the hell was that? You see that?
Yeah, I did.
That was amazing, wasn't it?
30, awards bid installation of emergency generators at Plant 1 and 6, Riverhead Water District.
I got 1 to 16.
Oh, did I say 1 and 16?
You said 1 to
1 and
6.
16, yeah, you're right, I'm sorry. Roland Electric. I actually think we paid for that in-house.
Well, that's page 78 or 103. All pertinences.
Hey, as soon as the Suffolk County Water Authority offers us the $100 million the water district is worth,
Sayonara?
not the 12 million I think they offered. 31, awards bid installation of water mains and appurtenances,
Phone today.
water distribution system improvements, Riverhead Water District.
And just when you thought you were done, Anne Marie would like to add one.
Yeah, just if I could, I don't have it prepared yet.
Oh, we're not done.
You are.
32, resolution calling for public hearing regarding lateral water main extensions for Riverview Lost Georgia Greens. Okay, good.
Yep.
Is there another one?
So I'm requesting permission for a late add-on that
Denied.
I haven't done yet. The town board will recall you approved a license agreement with Crown Sanitation wherein we would give them parking across the street at our former
Right.
landfill in exchange for grinding.
Yeah.
Well, they've determined that parking is
We
not gonna
discussed
work
that.
for them, and they would like to change the location of the parking to be actually at our, yard waste facility. So I have a photograph
wanna go-
here where they want it.
Wait.
They'll clear it.
Well, it's
And-
clear, they just gotta get the,
Wait a minute, the roadways west of the,
He's gonna show you a
dump?
picture.
Yeah, I'm gonna show you a
This is
picture.
it, what they were done,
Originally,
right?
in our agreement,
And
I
then
had them across the
here.
street. They're like,
So now,
We got these two we gotta add on.
we talked about it already.
what,
Okay.
so what they're afraid of is their employees are not gonna, right. They're either,
I just got,
there's a risk them crossing the street,
There it
or
is.
they won't park there.
we see
Instead, they'll
John
be
see
out
that?
on the road,
John wants to see that.
which,
Oh, well, it's
you know,
funny
with the
enough.
heavy trucks, they're like,
Look at
you
it.
know, they don't want
They wanna put it
the
there.
liability, and they're asking. Drew has no objection, he would really like this to get going,
Yeah, so
because
they
we
can grind
really,
for free.
yeah, exactly.
Well, tell them get going, what are they waiting for?
So, I need to amend the agreement, because throughout the agreement, I talk about the location, so I need to do that.
I'm fine with
Put
it.
it before.
Yeah, I'm good with it.
Okay.
You
It's
guys good with
benign,
it?
no, it's
Yeah.
benign.
All right, good, let's
Okay,
get it going.
I
hope
just
they
wanted,
roll the time.
before we close up, one thing. The MTA, yesterday, at their board meeting,
Cameron, I need you.
was approving, giving us the, leasing us the railroad station.
Good.
So, we, Larry and I went to the finance committee meeting on Monday, they approved it, and yesterday, it went to the full board, and whatever the finance committee approves, the full board will agree on, so, we should have the
So is-
paperwork.
Is the compromise, the, west side is gonna be fenced and the back so people can't go into the town?
Larry? Okay,
So is the.
that's in the contract, they're dealing with Larry, they're gonna send him a contract, we're gonna go over the contract, and anything that we do, they have to approve.
Yes, so
Yes.
in the contract, there'll be the
So,
basic
that's what will be in the
terms,
contract.
and the fence and all of the improvements, that we wanna do will be.
The left
sort of
side?
Yeah,
The
yeah.
west side?
That will be the request, after we approve, the contract itself, then we will put in the request for all of the fencing.
Yeah.
And then they'll go through that
The
approval
senior
process.
operations guy knows the problems we're having, and he agreed with us that it should be fenced in.
Yes.
In a decorative way, but the eastern side, we'll leave it open for bus riders to stand under the.
Yes, we're gonna,
Yes.
we're gonna go to the first cement, there's two pillars, one here, one here. We're gonna fence it from the first pillar, that'll leave 10-foot overhang. That, we're gonna put the two benches right there, so they can sit down under the overhang until they see the buses coming down Railroad Avenue, then they can get up and go over to the bus station, which will have a regular bus stop cover.
Yeah, I'm hoping, because the way that Suffolk County Transit was talking, they don't pay for the shelters themselves. They have to pay for the installation, but they get the shelters, I'm not quite sure.
They
where
get
the
it for
shelter-
free from
Yeah,
somebody.
I'm not quite sure where, so, I'm
Stick us with
gonna
maintenance.
come up with a little design, maybe a horseshoe-looking design, where you have two here and one here, with some openings to walk in like this, so it really creates a nice space
Right.
for the bus riders.
So we're not leaving the eastern side of the
We are.
eve
We
open?
are.
Okay,
We'll leave that
We
as
are.
an additional space.
that should be plenty. You need a
Yeah.
shelter there too. I don't know how
Um,
many people stand there at 6 o'clock in the morning, was when I heard there's a lot of people there, but.
Yeah, I think if, I mean, when I was there, I went there last week at like 6:30 in the morning, and I started jotting down how many, I think there were around a dozen at the most.
There's
for
plenty of room
each-
under that.
Yeah. for
Yeah, there's
each,
10-foot, there's plenty, those two benches that are in the front, to sit on the side,
Mhm.
there's plenty of room for that. The bike rack is still gonna stay there, where they park their bikes, that's still gonna stay there. So, basically, all we're doing is taking, I think, 5 feet away from them, from the first things, on the east side.
Yeah, yeah.
That's
And
all
then
we're doing.
hoping that,
They wanna keep them away from the windows, there's 2 windows there. And today I passed there, and there were guys sitting against the wall,
Yeah,
so,
yeah. So hopefully, we're gonna be able to partner with Suffolk County, MTA,
Huh?
and us to really revitalize that whole space over there to make it look like a nice little transportation hub.
yeah.
I had-
Sounds like a plan.
The reason, and I know this is on topic, but I had to set up a conference call with Lori and Bill and Anne Marie, because they're going over the telecom voice over IP system that we're thinking about for the town. And if all their questions that they're are popping up because they're worried about the VMware and marrying that to what's coming in, and so I want to get all those questions answered before we move forward with that. But if it all looks good and it's moving forward, it's gonna save about 15,000 a year for the new system, so that would be used to pay that $9,000 or whatever for that.
That's why I told that dude we didn't really need to do a Verizon audit, because we may be just going away from Verizon.
Well,
All
that'd
right.
be good, but we have saved $75,000 a year since we did the
35,000.
Verizon audit.
All right, Can I get a motion to go into
I
executive session?
make a motion that we
Did you do
close
the
the town
additional?
work session.
Yeah, we did that first.
And go into the executive session for employee
Seconded.
and litigation.
All in favor, aye, opposed, abstentions, motion
Where we
carries.
going, in
We're
here?
going to my
Or
office.
in your office?